When Claire said she needed a week apart, I didn't argue. I just nodded, letting her words hang in the air between us like a fog that refused to lift. We'd been married for 6 years. Not perfect, but stable enough to make sense. Lately, though, something had changed. She'd grown quieter, distracted, more like a guest in her own home than the woman I'd once fallen asleep beside every night. It wasn't about a fight or one big blowout. It was smaller things. The glances that didn't linger, the texts left unanswered, the laughter that felt rehearsed. When she said, "Maybe we need some space, Ryan, just a week. I need to clear my head," I heard what she didn't say. "I need to clear you out of it." Still, I played along. "A week," I repeated. "Sure, take all the space you need." She seemed surprised that I didn't push back. Maybe she expected tears or pleading, but honestly I was tired of feeling like the only one holding a thread that was already fraying. That night, she packed a small suitcase, just a few clothes, her charger, and that soft gray hoodie she always wore when she was stressed. I watched her leave, no anger, no drama. Just a strange emptiness that filled the house the moment the door clicked shut. Day 1. Silence. I woke up to a quiet house and made coffee for one. Her favorite mug sat in the sink, still stained from yesterday's latte. I left it there. By noon my phone buzzed, a text from her. "I miss you already. Maybe this was a bad idea." I read it twice, then set the phone down. I didn't reply. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because for the first time I wanted to feel what she'd felt. Distance. By evening, she called. I let it ring. Then a second call. I stared at the screen until it stopped. Funny how quiet can be comforting when you've spent months being unheard. That night I went for a drive. The streets looked different without her voice filling the car, without her hand resting on the console. I stopped at a small diner near the edge of town. The waitress, mid-30s, red hair tied up in a messy bun, smiled like she actually saw me. "Rough day?" she asked. I smiled back. "You could say that." We talked, and nothing deep, just small talk. But it felt good. It felt real. When I got home, I saw 5 unread messages from Claire. One of them said, "Ryan, please answer. I hate this. I made a mistake. Regret." Less than 24 hours later. I wondered what changed her mind so quickly. Maybe the silence scared her. Maybe she expected me to chase her, to beg. Or maybe, just maybe, she'd already realized what distance really feels like when the other person doesn't fill it with attention. Still, I didn't reply. Day 2. She showed up at my office. I was grabbing coffee in the break room when she walked in. Hair tied back, no makeup, that same gray hoodie. "Can we talk?" she asked. I nodded slowly. "About what?" she sighed. "About us." "About me. I think I made a mistake." Her eyes were softer than I'd seen in months, her voice trembling just enough to sound honest. But something in me had shifted too. The version of me that used to jump at every breadcrumb of affection. He was gone. We sat in my car for an hour. She talked, I listened. She said she'd felt suffocated, like she couldn't breathe under the weight of routine. I didn't interrupt. Then she said something that twisted my stomach. "I just thought maybe if I had space I'd remember what I wanted." "And did you?" I asked quietly. She looked down. "I wanted you, Ryan, I do. I just got lost for a minute." Her hand reached for mine, tentative, searching for the old comfort. I let her touch linger but didn't close my hand around hers. The silence that followed was different this time. Heavier, not empty. When she finally left that day, she smiled like everything would go back to normal. But as I watched her drive away, I wasn't so sure anymore. Day 3 felt like walking through a memory that didn't fit anymore. She texted me a photo of the dog sleeping on her lap, followed by a simple, "I miss this." I didn't know what to say. There was a time I would have written back instantly, some comforting line to bridge the gap. Now I just stared at the message until the screen dimmed. That evening, I met my friend Noah for a drink. He asked if Claire and I were okay. I shrugged. Define okay. He laughed softly, then said something that stuck with me. "You've always been the one to hold things together, man. Maybe it's time you let something fall apart." When I got home, I checked my phone again. Another text, "Can we talk tonight, please?" I typed tomorrow, then deleted it. I didn't answer. Day 4. Claire showed up again, unannounced. This time she brought takeout from my favorite Thai place, the same meal we used to share on Fridays after long weeks. She stood at the door, smiling nervously. I thought maybe we could eat together, like old times. I hesitated, then stepped aside. The house smelled like ginger and lime again. She tried to fill the silence with small talk. Work, the weather, how quiet the apartment felt without me. When she finally looked up from her plate, her eyes were wet. I shouldn't have left. I thought I needed space, but I just felt hollow, like I'd cut off something alive. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But something in her tone didn't line up. It was too rehearsed, too careful. After dinner, she went to grab her bag from the hallway. Her phone buzzed on the table. The name that flashed across the screen froze me. Evan! She noticed my glance and quickly flipped it over. Work thing, she said. Too fast. Right, I replied quietly. Evan. The same coworker she once mentioned in passing. The funny guy in marketing. I remembered the way she'd laughed when she talked about him, a softness she hadn't used for me in months. That night, after she left, I sat in the dim kitchen replaying everything. The distance, the sudden regret, the visits. It all felt like guilt, not love. By morning, I knew what I had to do. Day 5, I went to her apartment. She opened the door looking startled, like she hadn't expected me to come to her space. I think we should talk, I said. She nodded slowly. I was hoping you'd say that. Inside, everything smelled different. New candles, new furniture arrangements. But what stood out was a men's jacket hanging by the door. Not mine. I didn't say anything. I just looked at it. Her lips parted, eyes darting between me and the jacket. That's Evan's, she whispered finally. He was helping me move some things. Helping? I repeated. Or visiting. She swallowed hard. Ryan, please don't do this. It wasn't what? Serious, intentional? I stepped back, shaking my head. You wanted a week of distance, Claire. I gave it to you. Seems like you used it well. She started crying, reaching out for me, but I couldn't even feel anger anymore. Just an odd calm, like the moment you finally stop trying to save something that's already gone. I messed up, she said. It didn't mean anything. Then why does it look like it meant everything? I asked. Her silence was my answer. I left without another word. The sunlight outside felt harsh but freeing. I drove until the city faded in the rearview mirror. Day 6. She called again, this time crying so hard I could barely understand her. I ended it with him, I swear. I don't even know why I did it. I wanted to feel wanted again. I listened quietly, then said, You could have told me that instead of testing what you already had. She begged me to meet, to talk, to try again. But some things don't rewind. They only replay in softer echoes until they mean nothing. By day 7, she showed up one last time. No makeup, no excuses. She just stood there holding the gray hoodie I'd noticed her pack a week ago. You said 1 week, she whispered. It's been 1. I looked at her. The woman I'd built a life with, the one who thought love could survive temporary absence and quiet lies. Yeah, I said. And I finally learned what distance really means. Her tears fell, but I didn't move closer. For the first time in years, I felt steady. She left, and this time I didn't watch her go.